Hello there. So we just watched the Barbie movie premiere. Long awaited. Been very excited for this. My most anticipated movie of the year. It's directed by Greta Gerwig of Lady Bird fame, and it stars Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling and so many other A-list actors. Paolo, what did you think?
I thought it was fantastic. Yeah, everything in the movie was really well done. All the actors, you could tell, even the production staff and whatnot, they put a lot of love
Oh
into making this
yeah,
movie.
gosh, I heard that news about how there was a pink paint shortage because
Oh
of
yeah,
this movie worldwide.
yeah, yeah.
And I think it really paid off because you look at the sets, everything in the movie, and it looks like a toy, but that's a compliment. It looks like exactly what they wanted to do, a toy scaled up into human size. So yeah.
Yes.
Um,
And speaking of the actual like story itself, I'd say
oh
actually I
yeah.
was actually quite surprised because it's a Barbie movie. You're expecting the usual brand of silliness, but actually it goes quite in the opposite direction most movies would go in terms of a branded movie of like especially with Mattel and Barbie being mentioned so often. They were actually the butt of the joke. Often like unlike what happens usually with these kind of movies.
Yeah, I was surprised that the brand allowed themselves to be made fun of and sincerely. I think that's the movie's biggest strength is that it definitely leans, not just leans, it fully embraces all the meta commentary. But it's not just to make jokes, but trust me, there are a lot of jokes. I
Yes.
found myself laughing out loud. I didn't feel embarrassed because the whole theater was roaring in laughter. But then also, it's able to balance being both the silliness and the sincerity in its message. It gets surprisingly philosophical, and there's never any tonal whiplash. It really feels cohesive, and I applaud them for that. Yeah.
That's another thing I'd like to point out is that throughout the movie, it's a very silly movie, as you'd expect from a Barbie movie with everything probably pink. However, at the end, it actually does have a lesson to be learned, and it's a lesson that I feel like would resonate with a lot of people. And that's really something I didn't expect from this movie. I was kind of just expecting, silly Ryan Gosling, Margot Robbie, who were fantastic. Their performances were really on the spot in terms of their comedic timing and everything.
Yeah, that's something also that amazed me about this movie. So, I also watched with my younger sister who is filming this right now and her two best friends. And throughout the movie, I heard them whispering next to me, and I think they were catching a lot of toy references, which was great. But on my end and on Paolo's end, there's a lot of pop culture references, movie references,
Yes.
and it's this weird thing where even though it's about a kid's toy, I feel like the older you are, there's a lot more you can appreciate and pick up on the movie, both in the jokes, the humor, which are so tongue in cheek, and also yeah, the message. I think what was really impressive was how it's not just for any one demographic because when you imagine Barbie, and it's a big thing in the movie, right? What does Barbie mean? What does Barbie stand for? Right? Think about Barbie associated with little girls, but the movie had a lot to say about many different kinds of peoples, adults especially. That was really surprising to me, and I thought it was earnest and earned and heartfelt. Yeah.
Yeah. Overall it's a really good movie. Of course, no movie's perfect. There were some parts of the movie where didn't feel as cohesive as others. Not to give any spoilers, but the portions of the Mattel parts are
Yeah.
probably the weakest parts.
Yeah, I'd agree. But then at the same time, I had such a blast with the movie that I can ignore some of the pacing issues and how some parts weren't as interesting as others because the parts that were interesting were fully captivating. I gotta say, so from the trailers, there was a lot of things that you expect to play out in the movie, and they do, and they execute it so well. But there's also a lot of things that I don't think that many people would have expected. Yeah, so like I said, how this movie is able to strike the balance between silliness and sincerity, likewise able to strike a balance between both subverting expectations, subverting stereotypes, and also embracing stereotypes, and how that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. You do you. That's the I think the gist of the movie without spoiling anything. Who was your standout in the movie, Paolo?
Who do you think? It was definitely Ryan Gosling.
Hell
There's,
yeah.
there's a portion in the end where I was expecting, but I didn't expect it to go like how it did. You were mentioning about the different demographics. How yeah, a little girl and go up to her parents gonna have a different take on the movie, and I think that's very true, especially in this movie. My take was that I can rule the world.
You feeling the energy now?
I'm
After
feeling
watching
it.
the energy?
I'm feeling it.
You are Kenough. We are Kenough.
I think that's what I
Wonderful.
say. The movie is enough. It is more than enough.
It is 10 out of 10. That's the official score.
Yes.
Yeah. Um, my standout, yeah, Ryan Gosling too. I came for him. And Robbie. Margot Robbie was, yes, her comedic timing was also on point, but he especially was the emotional core of the film. And you look at her career, Ryan Gosling's career too, and how diverse their roles have been. And you look at the roles in this movie, and it could have easily been a one note thing, and no one would have complained, right? Because they're so full of charisma. But it was a lot more than that. They somehow added a lot of nuance to these characters who are so over the top in their demeanors, how they express themselves. So that was really interesting and exciting to see.
It really shows Greta Gerwig's strength as a director. This is her fourth film,
Oh yeah,
and
yeah.
already, and each film has been very different from one another.
Yeah. It's interesting how her other films, even though they had big budgets, this one really leans into the bombast of it without losing sight of what it wants to do, what it wants to tell people. And also, there's, like I said, there's so many references and cameos in the movie from actors and toys and other movies and all of those things. But they weave it in such a way that it's relevant, or at least it fits in or adds to the overall feel of the movie, the immersiveness of it. So, yeah, I think this movie is a knockout. I'm not disappointed at all. I'm also feeling the energy. I really want to rewatch this. I gotta do the Barbenheimer double feature. Absolutely. You know, I saw a meme about how you would watch Oppenheimer for the laughs and good time, and you would watch Barbie after for the philosophical and deep
But that may very well be the
thinking and
case.
all thing. And even though it's a meme, I think that part about Barbie can honestly be true.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think there's so many things to appreciate about this movie. I think people will appreciate different things about the movie. People will have different takeaways, but they'll leave the theater just the same, feeling energized. Okay, that's enough Ken puns. Any last thoughts, Paolo?
No, I think it's good. I think we wrapped it up. We got it.
Okay, thank you, everyone. Yeah, go out and see Barbie. Absolutely. Okay, thank you. See you.